I'm from the UK, but I am half Hong Kong Chinese, half British. I've been practicing as an architect for the past 20 years, practicing as an architect in London and Edinburgh, and then here in Bali for the past 12 years when I set up my company. When we start any project, we really have to assess the land, assess the topography, assess where light is shining, where the views are, the flow of wind. Yeah, firstly, they're a great group of people, very personable, but with also with integrity, and that's something that matters to me. You know, they don't want to come to divide and conquer. They really want to do something that contributes to the local community, to the local area. They've seen Lombok as somewhere where there's so much potential, and it takes a lot more effort than your standard developments. So that really attracted me to what they're doing. Also knowing, you know, Lombok is a long-term project as well, and they understand the challenges and implications that take place by doing a development in this area. So I think deciding to do a project with them, I really felt like they had the right intentions to do something positive, and that's something that I want to do as well. So that's something we share. The inspiration for this particular project is to create an experience. Sustainability and eco-luxe design is something actually we take into all our projects. You know, it's something that's very much important to us as part of our philosophy, and doing it in a way that's genuine, not some kind of greenwashing. So wherever possible, wherever practical, we apply these aspects. And that combined with creating something that has a sense of iconography to it, really creates a brand and an identity for this whole development. We used a number of different aspects to create sustainability, from materials with a low carbon footprint to prefab aspects, to the way energy consumption is minimized, to the construction methods in terms of prefabrication, in terms of speed, and long-term maintenance. I think people often forget how, when things are supposed to last for a long time, it uses far less energy and is sustainable in the whole makeup of the building. When people think of sustainability, they often think of solar panels, they think of wind turbines, and a lot of high-tech aspects. But in reality, there's certain basics that need to be considered in terms of airflow, shading, passive cooling. These kind of things minimize energy usage within a building. You know, we always take this into account throughout the whole team, and just being aware of where materials are sourced, not using rainforest hardwoods, looking for sustainable sources, whether they're recycled or plantation wood. These kind of things make a massive difference to the overall makeup of the building. And it also requires a lot more effort, actually, to be really sure where everything's coming from. I think in some aspects it's true, where there is a lack of urban planning and wholesale development without considering the consequences of their building. I think if it's done in a controlled and integral manner, then it's a way we can have buildings in the landscape that are harmonized with it. Where that comes from, I take responsibility as that for an architect, but also I think overall developers need to consider how their projects are affecting the land and also how it's sustainable to the overall community as well. We are a multidisciplinary practice, so within our company we have not only architects but interior designers and a number of engineers, including structural engineers. So when we consider our designs, we make sure they're calculated to cope with large earthquakes. And this also depends on the kind of materials we're using. So starting from the foundations upwards, we can evaluate areas where the building is more stiff and other areas where it's more flexible. And in these villas, we're using a bamboo structure, which is far more resistant to earthquakes because it has that flexibility. We also, with some of the prefabrication that we're using, there's no heavy weights falling on that can fall or break and crack. So I'm happy with this project that is super earthquake proof. The best thing about working in Indonesia is the environment that we're in. I love the fact that actually almost anything can be made now, from not just a technological point of view, but from a craftsman point of view. I mean, people can carve, there's amazing stonemasons, and there's an amazing amount of materials that go with that as well, that are often not found in many other places of the world. I love the speed, believe it or not, that things can happen. There's less paperwork, there's less bureaucracy. In the same way, the challenges that I've had over the years is learning to adapt myself from aspects of a Western mindset, where things are perhaps over-planned and very demanding in the sense of the transfer of information, and the way we're organized in our mindset, where we have to try and find a different way of being flexible, communicating, and managing things to ensure they come out the way we want them to. I tend not to follow trends, just because in the next 5 years they'll be gone and they'll be dated. So I prefer to do something that's more timeless. I think aspects for the long-term future which will change the industry are the technology involved in designing and putting together your building. So, for example, in a lot of our buildings we use a lot of BIM technology within our design process and transfer of information. But further on from that, who knows, we could be seeing a lot more 3D printed buildings, much better and more efficient prefabrication methods. And also here, particularly in Indonesia, we can see the quality and understanding of building techniques is rapidly improved over the last 10 to 15 years. And that's already having an effect to the type of architecture that's being produced. Well, we tend more to concentrate on the now, the future. We don't have, I say, a massive long-term plan. I think we have a vision that we would like to have greater impact on communities, on people's lives. We want to affect people's well-being in a far more holistic way and really maximize the potential of what the built environment that's harmonized with the natural environment can do to improving people's lives. The Tibetan Book of the Dead has always been a major influence, just because it helped me understand karma. And I think that's integral to everything we do. Touch and feel. It's 2 words. This is completely integral to the way we process and do everything. At the same time, I would still encourage people to be able to draw and sketch, because there's still nothing faster to relay an idea from our minds to the paper. Indigo.